Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, we are going to get into the new Lethal Cosmetics Midnight Serenade palette. I'm going to do swatches, of course, create a couple looks, and give you guys my thoughts on this palette. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri, and I am just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So we are just going to jump right into the info about this palette so I can get into the looks, because I have a lot of videos to film on a lot of different palettes because your girl had some fun shopping during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday events. But this palette right here from Lethal Cosmetics, which is a German indie brand, is called the Midnight Serenade palette, and this goes for $45. I see it's still available on their website. I believe you can also get this off of Camera Ready Cosmetics as well. So if you want, I think, faster shipping, it's probably better to go with Camera Ready Cosmetics, especially if you live in the US. It's, if you get this from Lethal, it's, you know, shipping from Germany. So I'll show you guys the packaging. Isn't that beautiful with the butterfly? I love it. And that's just like the outer sleeve. Same with the palette itself. And it's pretty plain in the back. It has a little bit of info, which is kind of hard to see. And then here is what it looks like inside. So there's a beautiful mirror. And then here are the shades of this one. So this palette has 8 mattes, 2 metallics, 2 dual chromes, and 3 trichrome eyeshadows in here. So we've got some shifty shades. This is a little bit more cool tone, a little bit more muted, but there's some like smoky vibes to it. It looks very pretty. I think this is the biggest palette they've ever done. I think it's what, 15 shades. I think the biggest they've done, or what I've seen, is a 12 pan palette. So this is really beautiful. Now, I don't think the actual pans in this one are magnetic, so I don't think you can take them out from what I can see. I might be wrong about that, but this is 100% vegan, no animal testing, carbon neutral, child labor free, certified halal. I mean, that's amazing. And that is basically the info about this. I really love this overall. I feel like it's definitely a perfect palette for the time of year that we're in, that more winter cool tone vibes from here. But that's basically all the info. So I'm gonna create 2 looks. Hopefully I can also do a 3rd look on my Instagram and all of that. So I think we should now jump into the looks. So I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer, which I'm almost done with. And I'm going to start off with this shade called Velvet on the outer corner. By the way, ignore my nails. I really need to do my nails. Anyways, so I'm going to tap off the excess. They seem on the powdery side. And I'm going to concentrate that just on the outer corner. Oh, whoa. That is going on really nicely. Ooh, it's like very velvety. I'm just going to keep that on the very outer corner. Ooh, I like that shade a lot. Now I want to take a lighter shade to go through the crease, or at least the edges of this darker shade. So I will go in with Almond right here. These shades are definitely more on the powdery end. The 2-Up palette, I felt like they were a little bit more firmly pressed in the pan, some of the mattes. Ooh, okay, this is pretty. It has more depth than I expected, and it's adding a little bit of like a reddish tone to the edge of the velvet shade. But I mean, look at how it's blending. It's very easy. I don't have to apply much pressure. I don't really have to do a lot for this to just kind of blend out itself. Wow, that is really pretty. I think I want the inner portion to be lighter, so I'm gonna go into Crescent, which just seems to be the lightest matte in the palette. Let me just clean off this brush a little bit. I'm using the Rephr 13 brush, by the way. Yeah, there's so much kickback from these shades. You gotta be careful with these. Dust off the excess. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I wanted it to be lighter. Ooh, that's a pretty kind of mauve shade. I'm really liking the tones in this palette. I feel like they're very approachable, especially if you're someone who likes nudie shades and trying to get into color, since these are a little bit more muted. Of course, you don't have to use as much of the like darker berry shades in the outer corner, but it just seems like a very approachable palette for a lot of people. And then I'm gonna take this beautiful like muted green shade. I think is it I don't know that word, but this one right here. And I'm gonna use that on the lower lash line for that different bit of color. So I'm just gonna start here on the edge and then work my way in. Oh, look at that too. So much pigment. I love this. I'm so happy that the formula seems different from the 2 Up palette. Oh, what a relief. So I'm just gonna put that everywhere in the lower lash line, keep some space in the front, the usual deal. I am going to take the shade called Tempest, this green right here, and use that in the inner portion on the lower lash line. Ooh, these seem very creamy. Like I said in the beginning, these are all shifty, either dual chrome or trichromes. So we'll see how this shifts, but I'm just gonna pop it right here in the inner portion. I did spray it just so it would glide on nicely and not cause too much fallout. Ooh, this is a beautiful muted cool tone green shade, and it's very smooth. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. So the shimmers in here seem very softly pressed in the pan. A lot picks up. They're a little bit more flaky, but very smooth. Like, look at that shade. This one has kind of like a reddish burgundy kind of shift to it. You guys can see. Oh, that is so beautiful. It goes perfect with the mattes that are in this palette. So now let's do the shimmers on the top part. I'm very excited. Let me get a flat brush so we can apply these, one that's not so dirty. Okay, I'm gonna clean that one off, and I'm gonna go into the shade called Ember. This one right here, the purple. Ooh, that's such a beautiful kind of jewel tone purple. And I'm going to spray it as well. And I'm gonna use that on the edge here of that like deeper kind of purple shade that's on the outer corner. And I'm gonna do it at an angle. Ooh, this is pretty. It's very smooth as well. It's just like when you put your brush in the pan, you can see that the shimmers kind of move around. So they're just like a little bit more soft, which I love because I hate when shimmers are like too firmly pressed in the pan and it's hard to pick them up. That's a gorgeous purple shade. Let me see what the shift is on this one. So it's like maybe there's like some pink, berry, maybe magenta. I don't know if you guys can see. Ooh, I love me my dual chromes and my multi-chromes. They make me very, very happy. We gotta get some brightness in the inner portion. So I'm gonna take this continuum, am I saying that right? This one looks like it's gold, pink, and green. And this one, and I'm just picking it up. Oh, a lot picks up. This one is definitely a little bit more flaky. I feel like this is probably gonna be very foiled. And I'm gonna put that here. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. I feel like it helps tie in with like the green that's on the lower lash line. I'm just gonna fuse it into the purple, bring it up a little bit. Ooh, these are going on so nicely. So for a inner corner highlight, I think I'm gonna try to take Enchantress. I think that will be light enough to be an inner corner. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like a very beautiful pink shade. Maybe like a pink to gold or pink to orange. And it is also on the flakier side, like the continuum. I feel like I'm saying that so weird. I'm just gonna pop that right here. Oh, that is so pretty. I'm just gonna bring it up just a little bit here. So it's gonna add a little bit of pink in the front. Bring it up a little bit into the crease. A little bit on the lid too. So I think that's it for all the shadows that I want to use. I do have some fallout from both the mattes and the shimmers. Definitely a palette where you might want to do your eye makeup before your face makeup. I just like to do things the hard way. So I am now going to do liner, lashes, mascara, you know, all that fun stuff. And then I'll be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, guys, I am back and here is the completed look. I will lean in so you guys can see what I did. Of course, I added a little bit of a shimmery liner detail and I put a little gem at the end on both sides. I just wanted to, you know, add something extra to the look, and I really love how this turned out. The muted tones, the berries, the green on the bottom. I think it's just really pretty, very wearable for someone who is getting into color. Like, this would be a great look. Of course, you wouldn't have to do the extra details and all of that, but all I did off camera was I did use the Thrive Cosmetics liquid liner, created a little wing. I used the Milani mascara, the Petite and Pretty mascara, my combo lately. And then I tight line with this Trusty pencil. I use this pencil from LA Girl, the green one in Dragon, to go with the green on the lower lash line. And then for my lips, I have this from Lethal Cosmetics. I believe this is in their lip cream formula. I believe this is the shade Tailwind. I mean, it's obviously not a gloss, but it's a beautiful kind of berry mauve shade. So I think it paired beautifully like with the colors that are through the crease. And that is all I did off camera to complete this look. Let me show you guys one more time. It's really pretty. I feel gorgeous in this. So I think we should now get into the next look. Look number 2 shall commence. I did prime my eyes again with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer. And this time I'm going to do a smoky blue look. So I'm going to start off with Obsidian, this black right here. And I'm going to do a more defined shape. So I'm taking this ItsBel E2 brush. And I am going to use that on the outer edge here. I'm going to try to be careful since these shadows are on the powdery side. I don't want to get crazy fallout, so I'm definitely dusting off the excess. And I'm just creating a little wing shape. I'm just feeling like a, I don't know, a smoky kind of midnight look. A midnight party look. I'm just gonna do all that, and then I'll fill in the outer wing as well with black. I'm just gonna work slowly here. So there we have for the shape for now. I'll work on getting the shapes to match in just a bit, but I'm gonna take this fluffy, teeny little blendy brush from Nabla, the N205, and I'm gonna take some Blood Moon, and I'm gonna go lightly through the crease, just ever so slightly. I don't wanna put too much. I just want it to add a little bit here in the inner portion and meet it up with the black shade. I'm just trying not to make it too intense. Even though these shades are quite pigmented and show up so well, you just want to really go lightly if you're trying to get this to be more sheer. So I'm just keeping it in the inner portion, connecting it towards the black. So the shape needs some work. I don't know if both sides match, but say if you wanted to do something like this where you want it like a really black, dark outer corner like this, you could always use a black liner and then go over with the matte black powder. But I just wanted to see how the matte black would do on its own, which I think is doing pretty well. But now I want to get into the shimmers. I'm going to start off with Dreamscape, this beautiful deep blue. Wow, a lot picks up on this one too. They're just so soft in the pan. And there it is in the brush. Let's spray it for good measure. Hopefully we won't have too much fallout, but I'm gonna cover most of the lid with this. Oh, look at that black and blue. I'm not gonna take it too far in the inner portion because I don't want it to be too dark in there and like the inner area, because then it can make your eyes look dark overall. But look at how beautiful that is. Ooh, that's pretty. So that's a beautiful blackened sapphire shade. You gotta be careful with this shade because you can get fallout from this because it's more on the flaky side. So just be careful, or do your eye makeup first before your face makeup in case you're like worried about fallout and getting any staining. But luckily I was able to dust off those little shimmers. So now I want to take the shade called Obscura, this one right here. It's like a brown, like a cool tone taupey brown that might have like a green shift to it. And I think that will look really pretty in just the very inner portion. So I'm just gonna go into that. I just wanted to use more shades in here. Just crazy how soft they are. Spray that for good measures. Then I'm just gonna put that right in the inner portion. It will lighten the little front a little bit, but stay on like that smoky scale. It's a really pretty shade. I love that you can go like more on the nudie side with this palette if you went with this shade and like that brown matte that's in the palette. And it's like a black, you could do like a beautiful, more nudie, cool tone, smoky look. So now I want to do the lower lash line, and I think I want purple down there. So I'm going to take Hypnotic, this shade right here, and I'm going to stamp that on the lower lash line. And of course, I'll probably take some of the purple shimmer. But I'm going to stamp that on first. I'm going to take some of the matte black out on the outer corner here to add some depth. Sorry, I'm covering my face a little bit. But just match it up with the outer corner up here. And for some brightness, let's take the shade called Starlit as an inner corner highlight. This one looks like it's going to have like a blue shift. Maybe blue to pink. I'm going to spray that, and we're just going to get this inner corner brightened. Oh yes, look how blue that is and how bright it is. I definitely needed some brightness in here because this look overall is quite dark. So I love that. It's a beautiful contrast against the other shades. And it's so smooth. Just kind of bringing it a little bit up into the crease. Just ever so slightly. And of course, we might as well take some of that Ember shade, the purple metallic, on the lower lash line. Just in like the very inner portion on the bottom here, where I left the space connected here to the inner corner. So there's the look, very smoky, very intense. I am going to go fix the shape, you know, work on some of the mattes and bring in some details, do liner, lashes, mascara, figure out something for my lips, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. Just lean in so you guys can really see what I did off camera. Hopefully my lashes don't look a hot mess. I always struggle putting on lashes, but I love how dramatic and dark this is. I feel like I could go to like a midnight masquerade or maybe like a vampire party. I don't know, I'm feeling very sexy, very sultry, and I love how this is so different from the first look. But what I did off camera to complete the look is I decided to line the shape that I did with the shadow with gems, and I did kind of a gradient. So I started off with light blue ones, then I went into these dark blue ones, and then black gems. I thought that was kind of cool to just have it go from light to dark. And then for my waterline, I use the liner from Kaleidos, the one in Night of Creation. It's like my favorite one from them. It's just a like a darker purple that has like a blue shift. I felt like it went with the eye look really well. Then I use these lashes right here from Glamlite. These are the donut lashes. I don't know if they sell these anymore since I bought it on like a super deep discount, but they're very flared, very dramatic, and I felt like I needed a lot of drama for the lashes to go with the eye look. And then for my mascara, I use the highly rated mascara from Milani. I use the Kiss Lash Glue Liner to stick them on the lashes. And then for my lips, I decided to do something a little lighter and less bold since the eye look is so bold. So I have the Lethal Cosmetics Lip Cream in Vapor. It's like a grayish cool tone shade. And I thought it looks really pretty with this. So hopefully you guys like this one. I think it's very pretty and just very vampy. And I'm so here for it. So that was everything for look number 2. Now I am ready to give you guys a final first impressions on this palette. So I am actually pleasantly surprised by this palette. I was a little wary because the last palette I tried from them, the 2 Up palette, I didn't love the mattes. They were definitely more sheer, more firmly pressed in the pan, so it was harder to pick them up and harder to get the pigment to show. But on these, they're like totally opposite. Like the mattes in here are very pigmented and they blend very nicely on the lids. They're very velvety, like you don't have to try very hard to get them to diffuse out. And they were just so pigmented and beautiful and saturated, and I love that. I feel like the formula might be even better than any of the palettes I've tried from them. Like, I don't know, they did something with the formula in here, and I do feel like the color selection of the mattes are really cohesive. Like they just go with the shimmers, they all go really well with one another. I like that this is on the cool tone side, it's a little muted, it's more approachable if you're getting into color. It's got that grunge factor, that vampy factor. I think these are beautiful shades for like the winter and colder months that we're going into. Now overall, these mattes are on the darker end. I think the only true real mid-tone is maybe Crescent and maybe one of these, but because they're so pigmented, they lean on the darker end. So if you have very fair skin, I feel like all of these mattes are going to translate pretty dark. So if you prefer to have a good mix of lighter mattes in your palette, then just know going in that this doesn't have true like light mattes in here. As for the metallics, they're beautiful. They're very flaky. I feel like they're very softly pressed in the pan. So as soon as you put your brush in it, the shimmers move around. But because of that, they're very foiled, very flaky, very beautiful on the lids. I think the only one that leaned a little bit more satiny is the Dreamscape. But usually like the darker metallics aren't as foiled usually as like the lighter metallics in here. They all have really beautiful shifts. These 2 worked as beautiful inner corner highlights for me. Now I feel like Starlit is probably like the truest inner corner highlight for all different skin tones. Enchantress is probably going to work if you have like my skin tone, like a medium skin tone or darker, to use that as an inner corner highlight. But they're just beautiful and I really enjoyed working with this palette, and I just love the color options. Now the only thing I would note is that these 2 down here I feel like are kind of similar. Like these 2 mattes will kind of look the same on the lid, so I wish maybe there was a little bit more difference between the 2. But besides that, I think the palette is perfect and gorgeous. So I really enjoyed playing with this, and I think they did such a good job. This might become a favorite. Like the formula is so good. So that was everything for this video, the 2 looks that I was able to come up with and all of my thoughts. Hopefully this video was helpful and let you know whether this was a palette worth picking up or not, or maybe give you some look inspiration if you already picked up the palette. But you guys will now have to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you purchase? Did you pass? Have you tried Lethal? I would just love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun and colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I have the palette linked where you can find it. I will link other Lethal videos that I've done if you want to see more from the brand. I will have my face makeup and everything in case you're wondering what I'm wearing in terms of like foundation and all of that. And I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting me, being amazing. I just hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season so far, and just send you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.